Hi, this is Faisal Hassan with FuzzyYellowballs.com. Rafa Nadal has got the great buggy whip forehand he uses both in offensive and defensive situations. Let's check this video out if you want to learn how to hit the Rafa's forehand in 4 different situations: on wide balls on the run, the topspin lob, passing shots, and short offensive balls. Now let's dive into the main meat and potatoes of the Rafa forehand. Number 1, you want to hit balls that are from the waist below. So these shots are hit from the waist below. And we're going to look at 2 other things: the loading of the legs, as well as the finish that you have on the Rafa finish, the buggy whip forehand. All right, so the first tip now is I'm getting Brandon to come help us. Brandon, come on over, please. All right, the first thing, like we said, is these are balls hit from waist below. So that's the first thing. This shot makes sense when you're hitting from waist below. Second thing is the loading of the legs and going upward. So the loading of the legs, Brandon's right-handed. This is his right leg. Let's call this the loading leg. This is the left leg. Let's call this the leverage leg. So when you're loading, I'm going to have Brandon demonstrate. Good load. He'll load this leg. The leverage leg is going to be bent with the toe just on the ground and the weight totally on this leg with the knee directly above his toe. So that's the loading of the leg. So he's loaded this leg. Now he wants to get more topspin on the ball, and what he's going to do is he's going to load and he's going to explode up. So watch Brandon. He's going to load, good Brandon, and he's going to explode up. Good, and again. So let's take a look at the load. Load, and he's going to explode up. So let's do that one more time. Freeze. He's loaded the leg. Notice the toes on the ground. A good checklist is he can do a double tap, and then he'll explode upward, going upward, and he could do a double tap on that leg to demonstrate the loading of the leg. So that's the second tip. The third one is the finish or the follow through. So this is Brandon's hitting side, the hitting string bed. Once he hits, he's going to finish up. And he's going to finish like a halo, like an angel. If we look at this, this is more like a halo right here, with the hitting bed facing up to the sky. So Brandon, try that out. So the hitting side, let's go real slow. The hitting side is facing here. Once he finishes, the hitting side's finishing up. So to put it together, these are balls hit from waist below. The loading of the leg, good Brandon, you're loading, you're exploding up, and you're finishing upward with the halo finish. Now let's look at some drills on how you could train this with a friend. So I'm going to get Brandon to come help us out. So right now the emphasis is for Brandon to understand that these are balls below the waist, number 1. Number 2, you got the loading of the legs and exploding upward. And number 3, the halo finish. So I'm going to use underhanded tosses with Brandon, but Brandon's going to use an unstrung racket to really get the feel of what the legs need to do and what the racket needs to do. The reason for the unstrung racket is human nature. The minute you have some strings, the minute you hit the ball, you naturally want to look at the outcome. But with the unstrung racket, Brandon's going to swing. He knows the ball's not going to go over the net, so he can really focus on the sensation of the loading of the legs and the halo finish. So Brandon, let's have you up, please. Let's try it out. So what I'm going to do is, let's have Brandon on the baseline since it's the wide balls. All right. And a friend or coach, I'm Brandon's coach. I'm going to toss the ball wide, which is one of the situations he'll be training this. And he's going to mimic the movement, get there, load the legs, do the halo finish, and just freeze so we can take a look at it. Ready? So he's going to go, this, freeze, checklist. Perfect. He loaded the legs, transferred again. Let's take a look. Freeze a little longer, Brandon, and freeze. Right there. Good. And again. So that's one situation. Next thing what Brandon can do is we can use the strung racket. He's gotten the feel of what the body and the racket do with the unstrung racket. Now we're going to have him do it with the strings. Here you go. That's the Rafa finish. There you go. Loading and finishing up. So that would be the first progression. Second progression, after the hand feed, we could go live and rally back and forth. So there you have it. Those are the drills to train the Rafa forehand. Okay. First thing is you want to make sure that the balls are below the waist to hit this ball. You're going to do the loading. You're going to explode up and finishing up with the halo finish. Give it a try and enjoy.